Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. May the 4 victims rest in peace. Condolence to their families. Brian Christopher Kohlberger did a research that most of us are aware of. Keep in mind that he did this research in DOESN University, and what people actually forget to mention, or I'm sure people didn't even go to the end of the survey. He says clearly that this research has been approved by the DOESN University, IRB. I don't think he would have just put that up if he didn't get permission from DOESN University. I hope that Idaho Moscow Police has checked on that. He was a psychology student and he chose this research for whatever reason. He was doing his bachelor degree in psychology. I haven't done psychology, I've done mental health counseling. So I don't know if that is a normal research for people who've done psychology. But let's keep in mind that he did his master's in crime and justice and he was doing his PhD in criminology. So maybe this was his interest as a psychologist student. I don't agree completely with this research, but I can see why he would come about this research. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's searching for participants to do a horrific crime. Because if he got this research accepted by DOESN University, that means they would have gone to all the interviews he took for his research. So I just wanted to share this with you all. I'm sure everything's on a gag order now, but it'll be interesting to find out what DOESN University would say about this. Let's not forget, his teacher or professor in masters said that he was one of the best students.
The investigators went through the trash. Kohlberger was arrested at his parents' home on December 30th. Early on, police learned Kohlberger had an above-average understanding of police investigative tactics. According to court records, Kohlberger's past education included undergraduate degrees in psychology, cloud-based forensics.
He was definitely well-mannered, very intelligent.
He received his associate's degree in psychology at Northampton Community College in Pennsylvania in 2018. He then went on to DeSales University, also in Pennsylvania, for his bachelor's degree, then his master's in criminal justice. He studied under renowned criminal psychologist Catherine Ramsland, whose books include The Mind of a Murderer and How to Catch a Killer.
He was definitely selectively quiet. I think once you got him going on something that he was interested in, it was very clear that that was where he would take the initiative and say, hey, here's how much I know about this thing.
Just before he graduated, authorities confirmed he posted this Reddit survey asking participants to, quote, provide information to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. He asked questions like, how did you leave the scene? How did you accomplish your goal? And how did you approach the victim? He applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Kohlberger wrote in his essay he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. During his time at Washington State University, Kohlberger was listed as the teaching assistant for 3 undergrad classes in the Criminal Justice Department. He completed 1 semester in WSU's PhD program before he was arrested.
You never expect someone to do that, and I think it would be, not truthful to say, like, oh yeah, I definitely saw it coming,
if you'll pay attention to the red tapes on the door, it states evidence. I wonder if there was blood on the doors, on the door. Because if you look closely, it has it in 3 different places. And it states evidence. This is another picture of the door. The whole house was a crime scene with definitely a lot of evidence. So why would they tape the door on 3 different spots with many tapes and it's written evidence? I find that to be strange. Was that red liquid? And if that is the case, then the suspect or suspects definitely used the front door. Let's not forget, the front door was left wide open. A man on his way to work at 8:30 a.m. noticed the door wide open. How come Bethany Funk did not feel the coldness? It's a bit strange. It was a very cold morning. And if somebody used the front door to come in, I would assume that they knew the key lock number or the PIN number to come in, or did someone inside the house let them in? Xana and E were the 2 people that the police were searching for the correct timelines. Nobody saw them between 9 to 1:45. Not even one single picture was taken of them. We were told that they were at the Sigma Chi party, but we were told by Xana's father that he called her at midnight and she said that she was at home chilling. So which one was it? Did someone come and attack Xana and E at home? Or they had attacked on the way back from the Sigma Chi?
The house. Police say the suspect's alleged movements played a big role in connecting him to the crime scene. Using cell phone records and security camera video, investigators determined Kohberger's car and cell phone left the Washington State University campus, where Kohberger lives, at 2:44 a.m. on the night of the murders, headed for Moscow. Investigators say at 2:47 a.m., Kohberger's phone was either turned off or put in airplane mode. It didn't come back on until 4:48 that morning. A white sedan matching Kohberger's Hyundai Elantra was spotted in the area of the murder scene from 3:29 a.m. until 4:20 a.m.
How could the police say that they found a car or the white Hyundai Elantra was the car they were searching for? They were searching for 2011 to 2013 model of a white Hyundai Elantra. So was there another white Hyundai Elantra near the crime scene? There are many people who were driving a white Hyundai in Idaho, Moscow. For them, to come out with the wrong description doesn't make sense. And the wrong timelines. The timelines in the beginning was between 3 to 4 a.m. Why was that changed? Was it people who called in, maybe suspects who called in and framed Brian Christopher Kohberger? Is that possible? Just a question.
4:20 a.m. Court documents show the vehicle drove by the house 3 times, about 3:30 in the morning, before leaving the road. Then at 4:04, the car returned to the street and parked. Then it left the street at a high rate of speed at about 4:20 in the morning. The suspect's car was spotted back on the Washington State campus at 5:25 a.m. That wasn't the first time that Kohberger's car was near the victim's house. Was Kohberger stalking the victims? That's a question investigators sought to answer when they obtained a search warrant for records from Kohberger's cell phone. Court records say on at least 12 occasions prior to the murders, including one time back in August, Kohberger's phone was detected near the murder scene in late evening and early morning hours. 2 weeks into the murder investigation, a break in the case.
Kohberger could have been possibly stalking the victims, but it could be possible that he knew one of the victims. It could be possible that he came to the house 12 times for another purpose. Let's not forget that this house was known to be a party house. We've heard rumors of the house being a place where you can buy drugs. Allegedly. That is what the taxi driver in Idaho, Moscow, told the local news. That's in the papers. That's out there. We've heard rumors of it. And let's not forget, Kohberger used to allegedly be on drugs a couple of years ago.
A break in the case. On November 25th, police asked the public to be on the lookout for a white Hyundai Elantra. On November 29th, a WSU police officer looked up Elantras registered at the school. One of those was Kohberger's. Investigators tracked him from Washington State to Pennsylvania in mid-December in that same car.
Hello, how you doing? How y'all doing today? I will say that we have found an Elantra.
But it was DNA evidence that solidified Kohberger as investigators' prime suspect. The 18-page affidavit says the Idaho State Lab found a single source of male DNA labeled suspect profile on the button snap of a knife sheath left at the crime scene.
The reason DNA is so compelling is because it is a unique signature. Unless you have an identical twin, no one has your exact DNA.
Cece Moore is the chief genealogist with Parabon. She pioneered the genetic technology used in solving cases like the Golden State Killer. The techniques can crack a case with a tiny sample of DNA.
Based on the affidavit in this case, it looks like touch DNA is likely what they had to work with. That's just skin cells.
I wonder how many fraternities and sororities allegedly called in and said it was Brian Christopher Kohberger's white Elantra. Because let's not forget, Idaho Moscow police put it out there asking the public for help to find a white Hyundai Elantra 2011 to 2013 model. And let's keep in mind that there were several friends, sororities, fraternities, neighbors who were standing outside, and many went inside the house. It's written even in the airmail article that two of the people went upstairs and found Maddie and Kaylee, and there were many in the second. Anyone could have put anything in the house. Let's be fair. Anything, whether it's touch DNA or DNA. Why would it take 8 hours to call the police? And if this crime happened between 3 to 4, like they previously said, that would be 9 hours. DM actually froze. Where was BF? Wasn't DM sleeping in the first floor? I wonder who was driving this white car. It's been in front of the house for a long time. You can't see the make and model of a car when it's dark outside. I believe that Brian Kroberger could be very much involved. But he didn't do this alone. Let's keep in mind that Kroberger has never done a crime before. Why would someone risk their whole life, their career that they built so hard? He did his education, got his education and his degrees in bachelor in psychology, master's in crime and justice, and he was doing his PhD in criminology. He did a semester, and he was a teacher assistant. Lehigh County and Monroe County and Northampton County have all checked the cold cases, and nothing of Mr. Brian Christopher Kroberger has appeared. What was his motive to just go kill 4 students, knowing that Idaho is a death penalty state? You could have done it easily in these counties and got life in prison. Allegedly. Just my belief. He has no motive. Not that I know of. Unless he wanted to try and check if he could do a perfect crime and get away with it. And even if you want to do a perfect crime and get away with it, wouldn't he start with 1, then a quadruple? This doesn't make sense.
Kroberger's arrest for the Idaho murders, Northampton County's district attorney ordered a review of unsolved cases in his county.
We have a crime information center that compiles information of people's description, size, weight, height, method of operation, things of that nature.
Obviously, you wonder whether or not there was any criminality that he committed here in Lehigh County or in the environs.
Jim Martin, district attorney of the neighboring county, Lehigh, also ordered a review of unsolved cases. Lehigh County is home to DeSales University, which Kroberger attended after Northampton Community College. He spent 4 years here studying criminal justice.
Brian Kroberger,
earning a master's degree last summer. What does law enforcement do, given that he did spend time here?
Well, we have a resource here called the Regional Intelligence and Investigation Center. It's the first thing I did was I asked the director of the RIC, as we call it, to see if we had any contact with Mr. Kroberger.
A data search of more than 6 million police incident reports in Pennsylvania turned up only 1 record with Kroberger's name. He called police from this bike trail one night to report that his car was locked behind a park gate.
There was a response from him thanking the police and apologizing for the inconvenience.
The district attorney in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, where Kroberger grew up and where a SWAT team arrested him on December 30th, did not respond to our questions. But in Northampton and Lehigh counties, both district attorneys say their investigations have found no links to Kroberger and any unsolved cases.
So we have no unsolved homicides that in any way meet the modus operandi of this event out in Idaho.
There was nothing been brought to my attention. In fact, nothing with respect to Kroberger has come about in our investigations of cold cases or unsolved cases to this point.
And that should be some relief to a community that's been stunned and saddened by the murders of 4 college students 2,500 miles away.
It's a little close to home. You just don't expect it.
In December, people here were hit by a fact as cold and hard as steel, the once towering industry that fueled this part of Pennsylvania. One of their own was charged in a mass murder 2,500 miles away.
So I looked it up, I typed, Idaho murders, and then, holy crap, that's Brian. That's Brian. I know Brian. That's wild to me. It's a shock.
seeing someone you know on TV.
Jack Bayless met Brian Kohberger in 8th grade when the two of them ran with a group of boys in this neighborhood near Albrightsville, Pennsylvania.
I want to say he wanted to be a cop since he was younger.
What kind of teenager was he?
He was pretty normal. He was definitely heavier set, and that caused issues in school. Apparently.
We can clearly see that his friend, who grew up with Kohberger since the 8th grade, found him to be a very alright person. Besides him being a bit heavy set, like he said, that doesn't point out to him being a person who would go and unlife people. But the counties have found nothing on Brian Christopher Kohberger. So what would motivate him to do this horrific quadruple murders by himself within 16 minutes, when we clearly see what was going on in the band field and the grub truck? Kohberger could be involved, or maybe he's innocent. All this doesn't make sense, and if he has a solid alibi, then you simply got a problem. Please like, share, and subscribe.